Okay guys, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to cover a short tutorial where we're going to learn these four main objectives. We're going to learn how to use variables. We're going to learn how to use a combo box. We're going to learn how to program the combo box. And we're going to learn how to use something called switch statements. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and open up a LiveCode app if you haven't done so yet. And we need to grab a combo box, which is right here. And we need to go ahead and add some items to this. So in order to do this, what we have to do is right click on it and go to Property Inspector. Then you'll notice the combo box has a name, has a choice, things like that. We're going to name it number combo box. And you'll notice that the C and the B are both capitalized. This is called camel case variable naming, and this is how I'd like you to name all your variables. So the label is just going to be, again, we can just call this choose a number. Okay, let's make this a little bigger. Okay, now the problem is we don't have any choices. So what we can do is we're going to say number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay, so that's that. And let's go ahead and test this out. Alright. Now here's the problem. This is very interesting because it's not coded. We haven't given it any behaviors. So what we're going to do now is we're going to write something called a switch statement, which is going to show variables, or show images rather, when we choose certain numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll double click on it. You can go to Edit Script. It's going to bring up this box with all this code here. And what this is doing, it's saying switch p item name. This p item name is a variable. And what this is, it gets stored in here. Like I could call this thing number item. Switch on number item. And I'm going to say case number 1. Break. Case number 2. Break. Number 3. Break. Okay, so what the break does, let's say we pick number 1. It'll go through this code, and as soon as it hits number 1, it'll do some code in here which we don't have yet, and then it'll break. Again, we haven't added any images yet, so let's go ahead and add some images. I'm going to File, and we'll go to Import as Control Image File, and go to my public sample Slaminsky, Creating Apps, Marking Period 1, Combo Box Tutorial, and choose number 1. This is a little bit big, so I have to shrink it down here. Okay, we'll just put it right here. We can do that again. File, Import as Control, Image File, number 2. Alright, put it right over 1. Let's go ahead and import the last number. And again, we'll shrink this down. Okay, there's a few things we have to do here. Number 1, we have to lock all the controls. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and put each one to, we're going to call this one image, number 3, image. And we're going to go ahead and go to where it says size and positioning, and we're going to lock it. If we don't lock it, it won't keep its size. It'll go back to its original size, which you don't want, obviously. And we're going to hide it. Number 2, number 2 image, and go ahead and lock the controls. So lock it. Go back to basic properties. Take off the visibility. Number 1. Again, we're going to call this one number 1 image. Okay. And go ahead and lock the controls. And go back to here and hide it. Alright. So they're all there, hidden, locked. Wonderful. Now wait a minute. What happens if I forgot the names? Alright, we're working on it, and uh-oh, I forgot the names of these controls. How do I find them? We're going to go to Tools, Application Browser, and we're going to click on our main card. Let's see here. We're here. Just going to hide. That's from my other file. Click on my main card. And here they are. Number 1, number 2, number 3. If I double click, and I can go to Visible. So they're right here. Again, that's under your application browser. It's important to know that these things, if it looks like a little mountain with a sun, it's an image. And it looks like this, it's just a field, like an A. And there's an eyeball here, right? So I could click the eyeball and show them all, or hide them. You know, do what I want there. Okay, let's go ahead and code it now. So what do we want to do here? We want to say set the visible of image number 1 image to true. Alright, now let's go ahead and try this out. Great. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the next one. Set the visible of image number 2 image to true. And we'll do the last one. Now there's a problem with this code. See, if I apply this and run it, see, we can't see the others because 3 was at the top layer. So there's 2 ways we could do this. We could either hide the other 2 images, or we could bring up the current image to the top layer. So we could do this. Set the, I prefer this actually. So we're going to say set the visible of image number 2 image to false, and we're going to copy and paste this. That's the advantage of naming things nicely too. It's easy to modify. When all our things are named in a uniform way, it's super easy to tweak them. Oops. Okay. This will be number 1 and 2. Apply, and now if we try it, so there you go. If we go back to 2, you'll notice it works. So that's it. What this short tutorial covered was how to use a variable and switch a combo box. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do something a little bit more complicated, utilizing a little bit more variables. But for the purpose of this, we learned how to use a combo box. We learned how to fill the combo box with data. We learned how to code the combo box. And we learned how to make behaviors appear and disappear based on what selection that we chose in the combo box.